Hello Gophers, and welcome to our new series on how to implement microservice-based architecture in Golang. In this series, we'll be covering four broader topics. First one is how to create authentication service, which would also eventually help you in authorizing the requests, how to create domain-related services, and how to choose what architecture of code to be followed, what is gRPC and how gRPC can help you in communicating between the services, not through the API gateway. How to create middlewares which will help you in authorizing the request for particular domain related services. So there is a lot to cover. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any new video that we put across for this series or any video that we put across and might be helpful for you in some way. So before we start implementing the microservice, the why to use a microservice based architecture is the most important question that you should ask yourself. So let's first understand what is the difference between a monolith architecture and a microservice based architecture so that we can understand the advantages that we get when using the microservice based architecture. So in earlier times when we were using a monolith architecture, that means we had all the service functionality included in one single server code. Let's say the user related functionality or employee related functionality, task related functionality, authentication, authorization, everything goes into one single server code. So, and there would be one single database for the complete code. Now, when there is n number of user coming to my website and requesting for any type of resources, so the resources can be split across many services. So not all users would go to single service. Now what happens, this one server would be receiving all the requests for all the different type of resources and would redirect them to the database for any kind of CRUD operations that are needed. So if I have 100,000 users coming to my website at a single time, single hour, so I'll have those all 100,000 requests on my single server, single, or if you have like multiple servers, so those 100,000 requests would be divided into two or three servers that you might have created, and all those requests would then eventually go to the single database then. So the database has some limit of number of open connections. Each server would also have the capacity for number of connections that it can handle, and somehow you cannot keep scaling and adding new servers because eventually your database would also choke. So this was the drawback of monolith. You cannot keep expanding your infrastructure to gain gain advantage over adding more users simultaneously. Now what microservice based architecture does is we have a single API gateway and we divide the complete code into many smaller services. So each service represents one server. So each service is hosted on one server and each service would have their own database in an ideal scenario. Now what happens is if I have 100,000 users coming to my server or website at single hour, so all those 100,000 users would make requests to variety of resources. So all those requests would eventually get divided to all the servers for each service. Now each service can also have multiple servers in case you need them. So dividing the load of users to n number of servers now, and each server has its own corresponding database, so you don't get database choking capacity reaching so early. So now you get to have more number of users with the same code that you had. So you don't have to make changes to your existing logic, you just have to divide the code into different server codes. So what we achieve is we convert a big fat code to smaller piece of healthy code, maintainable code. So This is what you achieve with monolith. Now you also achieve one more function, one more helpful feature, that is you can implement each separate service in different language that you want. So in case you have some reporting tool where you want some artificial intelligence to be built, so you can choose Python there. For login service, you can choose any other language that you want and you feel that is more secure. So you can choose n number of languages for each service, and you can choose which language is best for which service. And you can keep experimenting. If you want to migrate from one language to another, that's also easy. You choose one service, migrate that, then move to second service, migrate that, and give a production release. So migrating the code from one language to another also becomes easy, and you can have partial deployment of each services, and slowly you can migrate to new language. But in monolith you have to convert the complete code into the new language, and the problem is you always have some parallel bug fixing or feature development in the old language, so it's hard to keep a sync between the old code and the new language code now. So this is what microservice offers us. So hope this was useful for you, and now in the next video we'll start by implementing the authentication service for you. So thank you for watching this video. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any notification on any new videos that we put across for this series, or we create new series for some kind of new topics. We would also like to hear from you guys in case you have some suggestions on how we can improve, or what topics do you want us to cover for you guys that could help you in improving somehow.